All right, this is some juicy shit. I think you're really going to appreciate this. We have a back and forth between two guys who are some of the deepest intellectuals of our time. Jesse Ventura, former wrestler, former governor, former Navy SEAL, you name it, he's done it. Everybody's favorite baby boomer. And he's going to be going up against this guy who is a former boxer named Gavin McInnes. And they're going to be having a little back and forth about Mexican immigration enforcement and how it compares to the United States, if it's more strict, if it's more lenient. And just really pay attention to this. We'll pay attention to the optics, but also we're going to get some really good arguments from this as well. I mean, these are two really kind of like the pioneers of intellectualism as we know it. So we're going to get a lot of really deep, thoughtful stuff throughout this. So really pay attention, take good notes on this. So we're going to start out with Jesse. Let's see what he has to give us.
Wait, let me ask you this.
Average.
Wait. Do you live in Mexico?
No?
So you don't have any real direct knowledge of how they treat illegals?
Yes, I do have plenty of
Really? Well, okay, tell me your direct knowledge.
All right, so Jesse's coming out guns blazing right off the bat. He's accusing Gavin of not living in Mexico. Gavin's screen is a little weird. It's like freezing a lot, and he's cutting in and out. So optically, the performance on his part so far is not very impressive compared to Jesse. Jesse also has the sleeveless t-shirt with the tie-dye, very boomer move on him. Gavin does have his shirt off. He seems to be by a pool, and he's got a necklace on, and his hair doesn't look like he's been in the pool, so kind of all over the place. Looks pretty cool, though. He's got some sort of weird tattoo on his upper shoulder. Let's see what Jesse's got for us, though. We're just getting warmed up.
Tell me your direct knowledge.
Okay.
And then I'll tell you mine.
All right. My direct knowledge is I have a home in Costa Rica, and I've traveled all over that area, and I've seen them put illegals in buses, Nicaraguans and Panamans, and school buses, and then drive them back to their original country.
Okay, so Gavin, before he was making the argument that, it says that he wants to close all borders, so I'm sure he's for immigration enforcement. But then his argument for the Mexican immigration enforcement being strict is the fact that they deport people. So I'm getting mixed signals, and he looks pretty confused himself, actually. I don't know if he really is aware of what he's saying, and Jesse looks a little confused too, but I'm sure Jesse is just going to pile drive him into oblivion after that. Let's see what Jesse's got.
Wow. Now I'll tell my story. I live in Mexico for 5 months a year and have for the last 8 years in a row. And guess what? I'm there illegally.
So Jesse just admitted to being an illegal immigrant, which is interesting. So not sure if that's going to take a turn for him in this debate, if it's going to make him look worse because he's breaking the law. Joe Biden might need to send ICE after him and get that taken care of. Gavin looks like he has no idea what to even think at this point. He's kind of just probably regretting that he did this because Jesse is just throwing him so many curveballs. Let's see where this goes.
I have no paperwork because I drive there. When you cross now maybe south it's different, but if you're coming from the United States into Mexico, I've driven in there where there's nobody there. I've actually stopped my car, rolled the windows down and said, doesn't anyone at least hand me a piece of paper and say buenos dias? No.
All right, I think that's a little bit of a stretch. I think he's lying a bit here. I can't picture him pulling up to the border and saying, doesn't anybody at least hand me a piece of paper and say buenos dias? I think he's kind of exaggerating a little bit. So optically, I don't think he's doing too great at this point because he admitted to breaking the law and he's lying. And so he's already committing multiple sins if you're a Christian. And but Gavin's really not doing too good either. Let's just see if Gavin can kind of like tie this all together and maybe come out on top. But right now, I'm kind of worried for both of them.
I crossed once at Tecate. I pulled into immigration. It was early in the morning. I said, sir, I need to get my papers. He says to me, get him an Ensenada. He didn't care, so I didn't get them at all. I go down there every year with no paperwork. I call myself a guap. That's a gringo without papers. And I'm there every year with no papers. Nobody bothers me a bit in Mexico about it. I travel freely and never have a paper the whole time I'm down there. So
he's basically just bragging about how much he breaks the law. It kind of looks weird. I have no idea how Gavin is going to counter this, but I'm sure it's going to be something really deep and really thoughtful. So let's see how he handles this.
I thought you were this big, tough macho guy. You argue like a woman. All your points are this anecdotal evidence of this happened to me and I saw this. And I think that when I went over there, I had a vacation.
See, I knew it was going to be a deep counter argument. I could tell that Gavin's been reading a lot of John Locke and a lot of Adam Smith and really going really deep into the whole concept of immigration reform. So I do appreciate that. So I think that might have kind of gotten him a little bit on top, but maybe Jesse's going to counter it with something even deeper. Let's see.
I'm 6'4", 245 pounds with 20-inch arms. You see that? You see that pipe? What do you got, son?
All right. That's what I thought. I thought Jesse was going to have a really thoughtful response as well. So this is a tough one because they're both just putting so many good arguments forth, and there's so many high-level ideas going on that I honestly don't even really understand what they're talking about. But I think I'm going to give this one to Jesse by a very slim margin, just because that whole flexing the muscle at the end, I mean, you can't really top that. That's really kind of the ultimate alpha male move. And Gavin is left speechless. Look, he actually cracked a smile because he's just like, all right, I'm busted. He's probably looking over at his wife saying, oh, this guy, this guy did me in. No, this is it. This is the end of my career. But yeah, that's it. So I think for this week, Jesse is coming out victorious. So that is our lesson in optics cucking today. I hope you learned a lot. And as always, make sure to stay grounded and stay centered. This is the Radical Centrist.